guys, it is language analysis season again. So today I'm going to be walking you through how to analyze an article and giving you some tips on how to write a language analysis essay. We're going to be having a look at the 2024 English exam and breaking it down together. Language analysis is tricky and a lot of students struggle with it. Just so you know, we have a ton of study support available on this area of study, so check out our Ultimate Guide to Language Analysis blog post, which I will link below for a range of different study resources, and stay tuned for our How to Write a Killer Language Analysis ebook, which is coming very soon. Let's jump right in. So for our first read-through, we're going to try and identify the core elements of the text. The author, the issue they're writing about and the context they're writing for, their contention, their purpose, their intended audience, and the key arguments that they're making. Sounds like a lot, but we're going to be breaking it down together. To begin with, this is the background information that we're working with. Our local gym is a fitness centre that caters to a local community. Until recently, the facility was supported by a council subsidy. The funding has been withdrawn and reallocated to other council projects. The Our Local Gym Committee has called an emergency meeting for members of the gym to vote on a proposal to keep the facilities operating. The chair of the Our Local Gym Committee, Sandy Gestalt, presented the following speech with accompanying slides. So my first tip for language analysis is to never ever overlook the background information section. This section provides us with crucial information about the author, Sandy Gestalt, the chair of the Our Local Gym Committee, the issue they're dealing with, the gym is facing financial insecurity, the intended audience, gym members, as well as the form they're writing in and the context they're writing for. So it's a speech at an emergency meeting among gym members with accompanying slides. Now let's have a look at the speech and let's see if we can narrow down her contention, purpose, and her key arguments. Thank you for attending this emergency meeting to vote on the future of our local gym. We find ourselves in an uncomfortable position, but as a group of people who have worked out together for years, we know that together we can save our local gym and ensure its future. Before we move on to possible solutions to our situation, I want to acknowledge the history and the value of our local gym to both you, our members, and to the wider community. Our local gym has been in operation for 47 years. We built it from scratch with council support, local fundraisers, and fees from you, our members. We have for years been a safe space for all people and for the young and young at heart. This space is where you've built your fitness, your strength, and your confidence. While larger commercial gyms have flourished, they cater for a different clientele. For people who perhaps are looking for a more competitive place to achieve their fitness goals. People who flock like moths to the flame to shiny new equipment, giant flat screen TVs, obnoxiously loud music, matching athleisure wear, and who love posting gym selfies on their socials. But our local gym has never been that. We provide an opportunity for anyone to experience success at any level of fitness. At our local, we value acceptance for all bodies and all fitness journeys. We train for life. However, we've recently lost the annual council grant that we've relied on for decades to keep our local open. As you know, we tried to appeal to the council to reverse its decision, but unfortunately, we missed the deadline and the funding has already been reallocated. The council grant was important to our local for two reasons. It supported the maintenance of our building and it enabled us to keep our fees low, in line with the needs and lived experience of our community. In seeking alternative funding, we've considered a series of bleak options, raising admission costs beyond what our community, including young families, refugees and seniors, can afford, privatising the fitness centre, or closing the facility entirely and watching our local be demolished and turned into a car park. But we found another option, a lifeline. We've been approached by a company about the neglected shopfront on the south side of our building. This group sees real potential in the vintage grassroots community vibe of our building. The proposal includes an agreement that they will upgrade the shopfront at their expense and they will pay us rent, which will cover what we have lost in the council grant. This will guarantee our local gyms low membership and admission fees and may even leave extra funds for upgrades. The group is Long Live Lollies. Long Live Lollies is a popular confectionery company. You might be familiar with this brand. They sell lollies at reasonable prices in a retro-themed shop. Recently, their own lease has been terminated. This offers us a chance for a win-win situation. Clearly, while this proposal solves our immediate financial problems, it does present challenges. Our local gym and Long Live Lollies do not, at first glance, share much in terms of values. Our local offers education about nutrition and the best fuel for our bodies and supports members of the community for whom fitness can feel out of reach, while Long Live Lollies sells foods with limited nutritional benefit. There is no doubt that bringing these two businesses together in one building presents a serious clash. Taking into account this clash of purposes, we are for community and they are for profit, I want to make it clear why we support this proposed partnership. The first is, unsurprisingly, money. Long Live Lollies has been nothing but a sweet delight to work with. They understand our dire financial position and are offering us upfront rent payments that will keep the lights on and the doors open. They are keen to see our gym thrive and be part of our local gym community. So they will also pay for gym memberships for their employees, a concrete gesture that shows their support. The second, while eating lollies excessively isn't great, the occasional treat or sugar hit can be a joy. At our local, we know that fun and laughter are as important to our health as regular exercise. This partnership can bring colour and deliciousness to our doorstep. And so we hope that a new community will be enticed to our local. Perhaps parents who don't know we exist will take their children to buy treats from Long Live Lollies to discover us and join up. We don't have the advertising budget of large commercial gyms. This is an opportunity to broaden our reach by tapping into the customer base and marketing expertise of Long Live Lollies. Before we vote, remember that we are not just voting for ourselves. We're voting for the many who cannot attend tonight and for those we hope to reach in the future. This is the only viable solution, and we as a community understand the need for compromise. To save our local gym, this wonderful place where we all get so much for our bodies and our souls, we will need to bend and stretch some uncomfortable and perhaps stiff muscles. It will not be perfect, but if we can make it work, it will allow our imperfect community to flourish. So the chair of the gym, Sandy, is clearly making a proposal about partnering with another business, a lolly shop, which holds potentially conflicting values, to secure financial stability and keep the gym open and affordable. We might say that the contention, the core argument of her speech, was that the values of the two businesses, the gym and the lolly shop, could be reconciled if the community gym members voting on the proposal reframed their perceptions and that this compromise was a financial necessity. Her purpose is to persuade the gym's members to put aside their concerns for pragmatic reasons and to vote in favour of the partnership with Long Live Lollies. If we were to look closer and identify the general arguments that Sandy's making in support of her contention, we might notice that in the beginning, she reminds the audience of the vulnerability of the gym's position and highlights the value of what is at risk if they close, emphasizing the role it's played in the community to encourage a sense of connection among the audience. She asserts that the community gym is very likely to close if they don't find a solution, and she presents the solution she's offering as the only possible lifeline to keep the gym open and affordable. She rebuts the potential objections to the lolly shop to undermine the backlash, and she reframes the situation as an opportunity that presents benefits to the community. Finally, after painting a picture of a rosy future and the new opportunities that this partnership might open up for the gym, she applies moral pressure to her audience before asking them to vote on her proposal. Now, when it comes to the ways you analyze a text, there isn't just one right answer. As long as you're identifying some of the key arguments the author is making, the way you choose to organize your thoughts or the way you choose to structure your language analysis essay is up to you. Keep watching though, because there will be more on this later. Wonderful. Now that we have identified the core elements of the text in our first read through, we have a strong foundational understanding of the text we're analyzing. It's super important to take the time to unpack these elements, contention, audience, purpose, key arguments, etc., because this sets the stage for your analysis of persuasive language techniques and devices. If you've misunderstood the text you've read and the ideas you've pulled out aren't quite right, your entire analysis will be built on rocky foundations. Let's go back in for our second read-through and start to identify some of those persuasive language techniques and devices that the author has used to make her argument more persuasive to her audience. Keep in mind that there are so many language techniques to identify in all of these texts, so we're just going to pull out some of the key things that we think might be most significant to our analysis. In the first couple of sentences, she starts with an appeal to the audience's sense of connection to their community using inclusive language, as she argues that as a group of people who have worked together and worked out together for years, we know that we can save our local gym. She aims to establish from the start of her argument a sense of collective responsibility for the survival of the gym. She follows this up with another appeal to the audience's community values and appreciation for the history of the gym and the role it's historically played for that community, as it's been operational for 47 years and we built it from scratch. She intends to encompass the community as one, and she also appeals to their health-oriented values as she talks about how you've built your fitness, your strength, and your confidence. In doing this, she's reminding her audience of the value of the gym to both our members and to the wider community. She also characterizes the gym in contrast to other larger commercial gyms, evoking descriptive imagery and using a simile as she explains how these other gyms have a clientele who flock like moths to the flame, all for shiny new equipment, giant flat screen TVs, obnoxiously loud music, and matching athleisure wear, portraying an atmosphere of competitive gym culture by using descriptions with negative connotations. In contrast, she characterizes our local gym as a safe space, valuing acceptance for all people and all fitness journeys. by strategically characterizing these other gyms in an undesirable light and in a way that creates a strong contrast or dichotomy with the positive portrayal of the accepting culture at our local gym. Sandy again tries to position her audience to feel a sense of collective responsibility over protecting the gym and maintaining the role it plays in their community. She then shifts tone to escalate the emotional response from her audience, describing the bleak options that the gym is facing, which include closing entirely or watching the gym be demolished and turned into a car park. This shift to a concerned tone about the dire situation the gym is facing helps her try to position her audience to see her solution as the best option, as a lifeline. She pivots then to a more optimistic and reassuring tone as she starts laying out the partnership proposal, stating this opportunity offers a guarantee that the gym's membership fees will remain affordable. The company sees real potential in the building, and the income from the partnership may even leave extra funds for upgrades. She presents all of these optimistic elements of the proposal before she offers the audience an explanation of who this company is that is interested in using the space. After introducing that the company looking to move into the storefront is Long Live Lollies, she preemptively rebuts the potential opposition to the proposal. She uses this whimsical, expressive language to reframe the dubious association that gym members might have with the lolly company, saying things like, the occasional treat can bring joy, that fun and laughter are as important to our health as regular exercise, and that the company will bring colour and deliciousness to our doorstep. By reframing the lolly shop in this fun and joyful light, she's encouraging her audience to see the partnership as not just a financial necessity to remedy a dire situation, but a positive opportunity to grow their imperfect community, positioning the audience to feel a sense of excitement about the proposal rather than just a reluctant support. In the closing of her speech, she applies some moral pressure to the audience to support her proposal by again appealing to their sense of community and reminding them that they're not just voting for themselves, but for the many members of their community who couldn't be here tonight and for those we hope to reach in the future. Reasserting her argument that the partnership with Long Live Lollies is the only viable solution, she uses inclusive language to state that we as a community understand the need for compromise, again strategically encompassing the audience under the banner of one community united by their shared values. She insists that the members of the gym will have to be flexible in order to save the gym, using the exercise metaphor that the community needs to bend and stretch some uncomfortable and perhaps stiff muscles to keep the gym open. Finally, she brings this back again to her argument that the partnership could open new and positive opportunities for the local gym, saying that this could allow their imperfect community to flourish. Now, we can't forget to unpack the embedded images that Sandy used in her slideshow presentation. Just as Sandy puts forward her proposal of a partnership with Long Live Lollies as a solution to the gym's dire financial situation, she presents an image that depicts friendship and prosperity through the cartoon faces of the chocolate bar and the love heart, which have glistening eyes and big smiles, walking arm in arm with a caption that reads, "Focus on the good." Through this, Sandy hopes to position any potentially disgruntled audience members to see the positives in the proposal, again reframing the partnership as a joyful friendship between two businesses that could be mutually beneficial. In the final call to action, Sandy embeds an image that aims to highlight a positive outlook on the relationship between the gym and the lolly shop by emphasizing they can coexist. She places an image of a young woman doing the splits, a flexible position that connotes fitness and strength, holding a large lollipop, suggesting that healthy individuals can exist alongside enjoyment of occasional sugary treats. Amazing! Now that we've done our analysis, let's chat a little bit about the way that you can structure your language analysis essay. Now, if you want more info on this, it's something we cover in depth in our new language analysis ebook, so keep your eyes peeled for that one because it will be very, very useful. But let me give you a quick rundown. Now, it probably goes without saying, but in the introduction, you want to give a quick breakdown of all of the core elements of the text that we identified in that first read-through. So things like, who is the author? What is the context or the issue they're engaging with? Who is their intended audience? What's their contention and their purpose? You might give a breakdown of the key arguments as well. As for your body paragraphs, there are a few options for how you could go about structuring them. Some people think you should structure the body paragraphs of your essay around the language techniques you've identified, but this would lead you to using 1, maybe 2 examples per paragraph. So if you want to sufficiently analyze your text, you would have to write like 8 or 9 paragraphs. That is a big ask when you're sitting in a SAC or exam. Some people think that they should structure the essay chronologically, moving through the text bit by bit. This also might involve giving each embedded image its own paragraph. While this mightn't be the worst strategy, it also mightn't be the best. It keeps your analysis fairly surface level because you're analyzing each element of the text one by one rather than looking at the overall picture. So that brings us to the way that we would recommend structuring your essay around the key arguments presented by the author. This means having 3 to 4 paragraphs grouped around the core arguments the author puts forward. And once you've identified some examples of quotes or persuasive language devices, you can pull them together from throughout the text and analyze the way that the author has used persuasive language to make that argument. This means you can incorporate your discussion of an embedded image within your body paragraph, analyzing it in conjunction with the text to see how it helps support the argument that the author is making. By the way, VCAA backs us up on this and says that the most successful students took this strategy of analyzing text and images in conjunction with one another. Remember, whatever strategy you take, your job is to unpack how an author has used persuasive language devices to construct and present an argument to persuade their intended audience. So you'd start with, in the topic sentence of your body paragraph, an outline of what argument the author is making, then you'd give us some examples from the text, and then you'd explain how and why they've constructed their argument in this way to achieve an intended impact on their audience. For more support in your language analysis area of study, check out the other resources we have on our blog, and as I mentioned, keep your eyes peeled for the release of our new ebook, an all-in-one exhaustive guide to acing language analysis. Also, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for videos so you'll get updated when we post, and leave me a comment if there's anything else you want to see me cover or if you have any questions.